Consider this. You are on your deathbed, old and wrinkly, surrounded by friends and family. What would you regret not doing at that moment? Thought about it? Then now go do it. Jumping straight to the point, our destination was Mechuka, a little peaceful valley, cozily nestled at 6,000 feet above the sea level in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Our team consisted of 3 persons, Dibrugarh with more than a decade of bike riding under his belt, Dibrugarh, who despite of all his years of bike riding is venturing out on his maiden mountaineers ride. And then there's obviously me. The trip was planned during a watering hole session between me and Deep, and Dibrugarh decided to join once hearing about it. We had around 2 weeks for planning and preparations. We headed out on the 28th of February. Our route was as follows. Start from Dibrugarh, breakfast at Pasighat, skip lunch, dinner at Along, spend the night at Along, and then the next day onwards to Mechuka. After getting our gears and luggage in order, we started off at around 9 a.m. We got our inner line permit made at Ruxan Gate. You need a valid photo ID, registration certificate of a vehicle, and a passport size photo for the permit. After a light breakfast/lunch, brunch at Pasighat, we started our ascent into the mountains. The route from Pasighat to Along had it all, starting from well-paved scenic roads, treacherous off-roads,
ये देखिए रास्ता ये मेचुका की ओर जाता है
slimy muddy patches, and most importantly, the dust trails. You are sure to get a dust facial if you forget and keep your helmet glass open for even a minute or so. Well, like this. We reach Along at around 4 o'clock or so. The rooms were already booked at Hotel Siom, and we went there to rest our aching backs and bones. Deep was coronated the official Don Bharali as an accountant for the entire trip. He was chosen mainly because it was funny watching him struggle in keeping track of the expenses. Day 1 passed without any issues. Except at night when the snoring battle between Deep and Dibrugarh started. God save my ears. Next day we started from Along to Mechuka, and from here on the real ride started.
Jigsaw puzzle.
After a quick chain maintenance, we set off again on the road. The route was mainly off-roads, with a few patches of tarmac here and there. But we were expecting the off-roads and were prepared for that. What we were not prepared for was
Kala. Metia ফুটাইছে বল কোন ফালৰ পৰা পৰিছে পৰিব বাইতে সেইটো কথা ন আগত ফুটাইছে
the road from Along to Mechuka was under construction. And since these are mountain roads, to build them one has to blast open the mountains and make the roads out of them.
Hey!
We were hyped up to have passed the roadblock, but our happiness was really short-lived. There were 4 roadblocks in total, and it tested our patience to the limit. I had to resort to aimlessly looking here and there to pass the time. And I did found a perfect isosceles rock too. Once the roadblocks were over, all the pent-up energy from waiting was passed on to the accelerator and Deep and Rita flew ahead. And I lagged behind. Mainly because I was afraid. A year ago, I had met with a road accident. Underwent surgery and was bedridden for about 2 months or so. 2020 was a difficult year for everyone, but for me, it leveled up its game. The year started with me on a hospital bed, dependent on others to even go to the loo, being lectured by family and friends alike to leave biking for good. And as days and nights passed by on that bed, those words of advice convinced me that I had to let go of the one thing which brought joy to my mundane life. Fear had clung onto my heart and made it his home. This feeling of utter despair lasted for a whole year. But here I am, trying to make fear move out of my heart. Stumbling and tumbling over off-roads, holding my breath and the handlebar in a dread grip on turnings, but still moving forward. Though at a snail's pace, I might say. I was riding so slowly that Deep and Trita were around half an hour ahead of me. So I told them to go on ahead. And I would catch up to them somewhere along the route. To be honest, I was a bit embarrassed on a slow pace. But on the bright side, kind of had a solo trip.
Forest fire lagi. Pani dulu lagi. Pani. Oh, kena ya dokibo lagibo de.
As we got closer to Mechuka, the changes in the vegetation and the terrain caught my eye. The shrubs and the thick trees that we were accustomed to in Arunachal were replaced by tall trees. And the mountain terrain seemed to be engulfed with layers and layers of brown grass. And most importantly, the ice-capped mountain tips were in sight.
Kela kuta heri belek kela vegetation gos sauce pa adige gute khone belek kela
kela bahia country thon jane jane kela kosun
to kela be
I sania be kela mu kela to na humaibo mon jana eta mane kela e khote roi kela
time lapse la koilo kon
এইফালে কি আছিল
thanda kela
We reached Mechuka town at around 5 o'clock. Rooms were booked at the GTL homestay. Since all phone connections were down, we had to stop and ask for directions.
দোকানত সুধিব লাগিব ৰখা এই দোকানত সুধো মানুহ সুধি লাভ নাই দোকান এখন খোৱা কেইটা
জোন আহিলেও তাৰমানে ছাকচেছ নহয়
গম পালা
আইলেণ্ড
হোমষ্টে সেইটো ওপৰত দেখা নাই
চলে
এতিয়া
বেংকটো দেখা নাই অসমত দেখি ভাৰতীয় ষ্টেট বেংক মেচুকা শাখা
মেচুকা শাখা ভাল গুড ওলা উঠা
On chatting with the owner of GTL, we were given two options: the GTL homestay or the Chupala River Island. We decided to spend the night at the River Island, the next day at the homestay, and on the last night at whichever place charmed us the most. And so here we are, guided by the homestay owner's wife towards Chupala. Day 2 has been quite exciting. Let the adventures begin from tomorrow, for which you need to click on part 2. Click it. Click it. Come on, bro, click it. It's right there. Come on, click it, click it, click it.